Bhaktapaya Bhujanga Garudamanihi Trailokya Rakshamanihi Gopilochana Chatakambudamanihi Saundarya Mudramanihi Yaha Kantamani Rukmini Ganakucha Dvandvaika Bhushamanihi Sheyodeva Shikhamanihi Dishatuno Gopala Chudamanihi Jayatu Jayatu Devo Devaki Nandanoyam Jayatu Jayatu Krishno Vishnivam Sapradipaha Jayatu Jayatu Megashyamala Komalangaha Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanaso Mukundaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharura Maddanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Nandagopa Sutam Devam Putana Shakatasura Trinavarta Vatsasura Vyomasura Bakasura Keshi Mardanam Yashoda Paramanandam Govindam Vande Jagadgurum Giriraja Varadam Devam Darparaja Mardanam Vrajaraja Paramanandam Rasarajam Vande Jagadgurum Pritha Partha Varadam Devam Daitya Darpa Vinashanam Rukmini Paramanandam Sundaram Vande Jagadgurum Bhuvana Sundaram Vande Jagadgurum. We have all assembled here to celebrate a very important segment of Srimad Bhagavatam. Good to see a full house. It's possibly because I made the title as The Art of Writing Love Letters. So people thought we are pausing Bhagavatam and discussing something else. Well, I won't disappoint you. We will still discuss the art of writing love letters. Now, Bhagavatam is filled with glorious gems, scintillating stutis. It is Rasa Shastra. It is through Bhagavatam that we can immerse ourselves in Krishna Anubhava. Right from the beginning, we have been relishing in our journey through diving deep into Bhagavatam. We have been relishing scintillating stutis, one after the other. Every stuti in Bhagavatam is very special. Kunti stuti, Bhishma stuti, Shukha stuti, Prahlada stuti, Dhruva stuti, Brahma stuti, Indra stuti. The list goes on. But the crown jewel of all the stutis is that stuti which is presented in the form of a Sandesha by Sri Mahalakshmi herself, which we celebrate as Rukmini Sandesha. Rukmini Kalyanam follows Rukmini Sandesha. In many ways, Rukmini Sandesha is a love letter. It's a brilliant love letter, possibly the very first in human history. Now, we all have lost the art of writing letters, leave alone love letters. For those of us who are used to greeting cards, inland letters, and writing on paper and posting, we at least know how to write something. Some of us possibly have attempted, failed, or succeeded in writing love letters. And unfortunately, the younger generation, all that they know is to exchange heart symbols. And that too, after a while, vanishes. So we have all lost the art of writing letters and love letters. So just imagine if we ask today a chartered accountant to write a love letter to his wife. He will immediately promptly start. Dear honey, you were my tax-free love until all the audits began. But hey, depreciation or not, I am still lovingly invested in you. If you ask a software engineer, he will immediately write, sweetheart, you were my clean build until post-deployment surprises. But hey, you are still my favorite runtime error. If you ask a lawyer to write a letter, he will say, honey, you won my heart without any objections. But now every day seems to be a cross-examination. But still, your loving verdict is what all I seek. You go to a management consultant and then ask him to write a love letter. He'll say, honey, our marriage is a circus of rings, no doubt. It all began with the engagement ring. Then the wedding ring happened, resulting in suffering. But we are still endeavoring, still enduring, sharing and caring. And then you go to an MBA who has become a corporate executive. Everything is templated. Everything is templated. A very busy day, right? Everything has a template. So he can pick and choose any template and write. So this is a love letter. Dear sweetheart, we acknowledge and appreciate your consistent service delivery across multiple domains. Your contribution has led to improvement of work-life balance and enhanced emotional ROI. As a token of your appreciation, you are hereby entitled to the following benefits until the next review cycle. Number 1, coupon for a candlelit dinner, bracket, non-cancelable. Number 2, unprovoked 2 compliments a week. Kindly continue to adhere to the SLAs. This is how, even if we attempt today, we write love letters to our own spouses. And if we were to ask someone to write a love letter to Krishna, what do? Samsara is a sickness called amnesia. Now, we are all patients of amnesia and samsara. What kind of amnesia is this? We have forgotten who we are. And we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. Therefore, leave alone writing a love letter to Krishna. Having a conversation with him becomes difficult for us. If we were asked to have a conversation with Krishna, we struggle not knowing how to make that conversation meaningful. One thing we know, we have an ask of several things, a long list to ask. Beyond asking, there is nothing that we can actually do in engaging with Krishna in a meaningful conversation. Our life and living has to be rooted in remembrance of Krishna. This is what Shastras say. Therefore, it is not just about having conversations with Krishna, who is longing to have that conversation with us. It is actually writing love letters to Krishna every day, every hour, every minute. Now, how do we write a meaningful love letter to Krishna? Rukmini Sandesha is a scintillating stuti in the form of a Sandesha. It is not an ordinary love letter. It is a love letter written by a Jivatma to the Paramatma. So therefore, when we dive deep into relishing Rukmini Sandesha, we also learn the forgotten art of writing real love letters. Writing love letters where we can express ourselves unconditionally to Bhagavan. And therefore, here we are celebrating that very important segment in Srimad Bhagavatam. We have seen how Krishna establishes Dwaraka, a glorious city, possibly only because to invite Rukmini. And Krishna is awaiting the call. Rukmini, on the other hand, in a faraway city, Vidarbha, is also waiting for her reunion. Nityaivaisha Jaganmata Vishnoho Shri Ranapayini. Shri and Narayana are inseparable, ever united. It is for our sake they descend, taking avatars. Whenever Bhagavan takes an avatara, Shri Mahalakshmi follows suit. And she takes an appropriate form, appropriate avatara, in order to be his Sahadharmacharini. And therefore, in Krishna avatara, Shri Mahalakshmi descends as Rukmini Devi. Last week we saw how Rukmini grew studying the Shastras. Bhishmaka and Rukmini's 5 brothers. Interestingly, Bhishmaka looks like was fond of gold. So therefore, he names all his children around gold. Rukma is gold. Rukmi, Rukmarata, Rukmabahu, Rukmakesha, Rukmanetra. All the sons were named around gold. Unfortunately, all them turned out to be artificial gold. And he named his daughter as Rukmini. Obviously, Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarna Rajatastrajam. Sri Mahalakshmi blessed abundantly Bhishmaka by choosing Bhishmaka as her father. Now, Bhishmaka was also in awe of Krishna and Krishna Cheshtita. The entire Bharata Varsha was filled with the Cheshtitas of Krishna. All were celebrating it every day. So therefore, Rukmini was constantly listening to Krishna Cheshtitas. And she fell in love the moment, obviously, she descended on this planet. Bhishmaka too was in awe of Krishna and his Cheshtitas. Bhishmaka too wanted to give Rukmini in marriage to Krishna. But unfortunately for him, Rukmi and the other brothers were hell-bent on marrying off Rukmini to Shishupala, their close friend and a nemesis, an enemy of Krishna. And Jarasandha also blessed this proposal. And Bhishmaka was unable to overcome the decision. He was unable to say no to his own very sons. And therefore, the date for the Vivaha of Rukmini with Shishupala was finalized. Rukmini was crestfallen, disappointed. This is not what she was anticipating. What would she do? Rukmini was counting every moment, every second, waiting for reunion with Krishna. And she knew only one thing. In the face of an insurmountable challenge, Rukmini knew only one thing to do. She decided to communicate with Krishna. And then she immediately summoned a Brahmana and she wrote a scintillating Sandesha. A Sandesha with clear, concise, only 7 shlokas. But in those 7 shlokas, she packed Vedantic wisdom. She packed everything that she needs to communicate. Everything that a Jivatma needs to communicate to the Paramatma. Writing those shlokas, framing a very interesting, inspiring letter, she then passes it on through the Brahmana, and the Brahmana immediately travels all the way from Vidarbha to Dwaraka. There, in Dwaraka, Krishna was waiting for this very moment. He too was waiting for the call to come from Rukmini. And then when the Brahmana arrives, Krishna is thrilled, overjoyed, comes running all the way to the entrance. Everyone thought Krishna was only doing a Brahmana Satkara. They did not really know that he was actually carrying message from Rukmini. So 2 in 1. On the one hand, Krishna had to do Satkara of the Brahmana, and more importantly, he also knows that he holds a very important message from Rukmini. Therefore, Krishna receives the Brahmana and then offers him Argya and then does Pada Puja and asks him to rest. The Brahmana is thrilled, is ecstatic. He was not expecting this kind of a satkara in Dwaraka, and that too by Krishna himself. And then finally, Krishna requests the Brahmana. He says, "What did you bring for me from Vidarbha?" Then the Brahmana recounts, narrates the recent incidents that have happened in Vidarbha and how Rukmini Devi herself has written this letter to be conveyed to Krishna. And then Krishna asks the Brahmana, "Can you please read out? Let me listen to what my Rukmini has written to me." And thus begins the scintillating Sandesha, which we celebrate as Rukmini Sandesha. Shutva gudan bhuvana sundara shanvatante nirvishyakarana vivarair haratongatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akilartalabham tvayachyuta avishati chittam apatrapam me. Rukmini Devi starts the letter on a brilliant note. He says, Shutva gunan bhuvana sundara. He addresses Krishna as Bhuvana Sundara. Hey Krishna, hey Bhuvana Sundara. No, we all in our life and living are seeking truth. And when we seek truth, in reality, we are only seeking Krishna's beauty. Because truth, the beauty of truth is beauty of Krishna. The beauty of truth is beauty of Krishna. And the truth of beauty is that everything beautiful that we see only reflects a spark of the infinite beauty of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is Bhuvana Sundara. Rukmini addresses him as Bhuvana Sundara and says, Shutva gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shunvatante Nirvishya Karana Vivarair Haratongatapam. I have been listening to your limitless glories, hey Bhuvana Sundara, and those glories, when they enter my ears and then reach my mind, they dispel all darkness. They dispel everything which is distressing in my mind. Therefore, she says, Shutva Gunan. She begins beautifully saying, I have been listening to you, hey Bhuvana Sundara. I have been listening to your limitless Kalyana Gunas. Krishna is endowed with infinite Kalyana Gunas. Every guna gives us an opportunity to experience Krishna. And Rukmini grew up listening to Krishna's limitless, auspicious qualities. Therefore, she says, Hey Bhuvana Sundara, I have been listening to your Kalyana Gunas, Shutva Gunan, and therefore you are irresistible. And I need, therefore, to send you this message. Now, immediately, Krishna, the playful prankster, responds to Rukmini. Says, Rukmini, possibly you have not done a complete check about all my whereabouts, what I have been doing so far. Possibly you have not talked to anybody from Vraja. If you go to Vraja and if you find out about what all I did there, especially if you talk to any of the Gopikas, you will never get a clean chit for me. So therefore, I am not sure if you really want me. Krishna is trying to find an excuse and testing Rukmini. Rukmini says, Krishna, I know you will say this. That is the reason why Shutva Gunan, also Shutva Agunan. I have been listening to all your Kalyana Gunas. I have also been listening to all your pranks, all your mischiefs that you have been playing. Even your mischiefs are enthralling. You are a Bhuvana Sundara when you don't play mischief. You are a Bhuvana Sundara when you also play pranks and when you do mischief. And also the Shastras say, you have gunas and you don't have gunas. You are gunan agunan. Akilaheya pratyanika kalyanekatana svetaravastu samasta vilakshana ananta jnana anandaika swarupa. He is akilaheya pratyanika. Heya pratyanika. Agunan means he is blemishless. He has no heya means unwanted. Blemish. Any blemish is heya. Anything which is unwanted is heya. All bad qualities. You do not have anything which is bad. You only have everything which is auspicious. Therefore, Shutva Gunan. Therefore, Shutva Agunan. Shutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shrinvatante. Shrinvatante, I have been listening. Now Krishna, when he enters the ears, he reaches the mind, and when the mind is full of Krishna, then whether it is to de-stress or whether to remove distress, it is the only recipe, the only solution is to fill the mind with Krishna. And therefore Rukmini says, my mind is filled with you and with all your Kalyana gunas, and therefore Nirvishyakarana Vivarair Haratongatapam. All my distress have been completely removed. I am anxiety free. I am always in a state of bliss, relishing all your Kalyana gunas. Rupam drisham drishimatham akilarthalabham. Akilarthalabham. Just your rupa alone is enough to fulfill all my desires, Rukmini Devi says. We may wonder, how can rupa alone fulfill every other desire? What Rukmini Devi is saying is, we all have infinite longings. We try to keep fulfilling our infinite longings one after the other, we keep failing. Without realizing, there is only one longing which we need to fulfill. When we fulfill that one longing, all our infinite longings get fulfilled. And what is that one longing? Longing for the infinite. When we fulfill the longing for the infinite, our infinite longings get fulfilled. Therefore, Rupam Drisham Drishimatham Akilarthalabham. Your Lavanya Saundarya Divyamangala Rupa, Achintya Divyadhuta Rupa is so very captivating, so very enthralling. And therefore, Krishna, that Rupa alone is enough to fulfill all my wishes. She says, Tvai Achyuta Avishati Chittam Apatrapam me. Now, she uses another nama for Krishna. Now, initially she addressed him as Bhuvana Sundara. Now she calls him, Hey Achyuta, Patim Vishwasyatmeshwaragum Shashvatagum Shevam Achyutam Narayanam Mahagneyam Vishwatmanam Parayanam. The Shastras declare who is that supreme being. Patim Vishwasyatmeshwaragum Shashvatagum Shivam Achyutam. He is Achyuta. Achyuta, Chuti. Chuta means diminish, decay. Achyuta, one who does not diminish, one who does not change, one who remains changeless eternally. Tebhyaha, prapannebhyaha, na apakataha, achyutaha. The one who never gives, who never abandons one who takes refuge in him. He is Achyuta. Achyuta is one who is always holding our hand. He will never let us fall, never let us slip. So Rukmini Devi knows this Krishna will never let me down, and therefore she addresses him as, Hey Achyuta, Chittam Apatrapam me. I have fixed my shameless mind on you, Hey Krishna, she says. Chittam Apatrapam me. I have shamelessly fixed my mind on you. Both are valid. Now I have fixed my shameless mind on you. Kunti knows human mind is shameless. Because one day it says something, the other day it exactly does the opposite. We keep cultivating, we keep training it, we keep trying to master it. It keeps going on shamelessly back to the old habits. So we all know human mind is shameless. So therefore, when Rukmini says, Chittam Apatrapam me, I have fixed my shameless mind on you. Another way to look at it is, I have shamelessly fixed my mind on you. I fixed my mind on you, but how can she say that she is shameless? No, this shamelessness of Rukmini represents the clarity of highest order. All of us are shamelessly pursuing positions, possessions and power in this life. What is wrong in being shameless about chasing the possession which is eternally the only possession, chasing the highest power that we can ever attain, chasing the highest position that we can ever attain? There is no shamelessness in chasing that kind of a position, that kind of a power, that kind of a possession. Therefore, Rukmini's shamelessness represents how it is important that when Krishna becomes the priority, when he becomes the master, when we understand he is the only master, there is no shame in serving one's master. And therefore, Rukmini boldly expresses herself, Vai Achyuta avishati chittam apatrapam me. And then she goes on to say, Kvatva mukunda mahati kulashila rupa vidyavayo dravidadamapi atmatulyam dhirapatim kulavatina vrinita kanya Kalen Nrisimha naraloka manobhiramam. Kalen Nrisimha. Now Rukmini is addressing Krishna as Nrisimha. Krishna and Nrisimha are one and the same. And Rukmini knows this. Sinchati simhaha hinasti simhaha. Hinasti smaranamatrena samasta papaniti simhaha. Hinasti simhaha. One who removes all obstacles. He is simhaha. Now Krishna is the remover of all the obstacles for Rukmini Devi. Sinchati simhaha. One who showers grace abundantly. He is simhaha. Therefore Krishna is abundantly, he showers his grace, therefore he is simhaha. Therefore, Yadava Simha, you are Nrasimha. When Prahlada called, you immediately came to his rescue. Therefore, I am now calling you. Kalen Nrasimha, Naralokamano Bhiramam. Please come and rescue me, protect me. Now, whenever we need protection, the first nama of Bhagavan that comes to our mind is Nrasimha. Seeking protection is calling Nrasimha because he is the very symbol of protection. He is the protective shield under all circumstances. Therefore, Rukmini is in distress. She is now calling out Krishna to come and protect him. Kvatva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa. Hey Mukunda. She addresses now Krishna with another nama, Mukunda. Muktim Dadati Iti Mukundaha. One who gives liberation, he is Mukunda. Now, Rukmini needs liberation from Vidarbha. Therefore, hey Krishna, you are Mukunda. Now, who is Mukunda? Kulashekara, he gives a beautiful definition in a shloka in Kundamala, defining who is Mukunda. Shri Vallabheti Varadeti Dayapareti Bhakta Priyeti Bhavaluntana Kovideti Natheti Nagasayaneti Jagannivaseti Alapinam Pratipadam Kurume Mukunda. Mukunda, you are Shri Vallabha, therefore you are Mukunda. Rukmini knows you are Shri Vallabha. What are you doing there in Dwaraka? Your Shri is here. You better come and immediately rescue me. Hey Shri Vallabha. You are Varada. Varada, one who gives rewards is Varada. Therefore, I am seeking only one reward, the reunion with you. Therefore, hey Mukunda, please come and rescue me. Shri Vallabheti Varadeti Dayapareti. You are supposed to be a Dayapara. Where is your Daya? You have not yet come and rescued me. You better do now. I know you are the very embodiment of compassion. Dayapareti. Bhakta Priyeti. You are Bhakta Priya. Your Bhakta is waiting for you. You still have not responded. What kind of a Bhakta Priya are you? Bhakta Priyeti Bhavaluntana Kovideti. Luntana means stealing. Bhavaluntana, stealing away afflictions of samsara. I am now afflicted by so many problems around. Therefore, it is time for you. I know you have done enough practice of stealing butter and stealing hearts in Braja. The real stealing has to happen now. All that was only practice before. You better now do the proper stealing and then come and steal me right here from Vidarbha. Take me to Dwaraka. Bhavaluntana Kovideti. Natha. Now you are the Natha, you are the master. You own me, therefore you should know what is right for me. Natheti Nagashayaneti. Nagashayaneti Kshirabdinata. You are always in Yoga Nidra. Remember, you are supposed to be in Yoga Nidra, not ordinary Nidra. Yoga Nidra means Bhagavan is constantly contemplating on our welfare. You are in Yoga Nidra, you are contemplating on my welfare. It is now time to translate that contemplation into action. Natheti Nagashayaneti Jagannivaseti. You are Jagannivasa. The entire Jagat is inside you. You are also everywhere. Therefore, you know my plight, what I am going through, what I am enduring now. Therefore, hey Mukunda, Kvatva Mukunda, Mahati Kulashila Rupa, Vidyavayo Dravinadhamavir Atmatulyam. Vidya, Vayaha, Dravina, Dhama, Atmatulyam. She says in Vidya, wait, when it comes to knowledge, you are the very embodiment of knowledge. Vayaha, you are eternally youthful. Dravina, you have, everything is yours when it comes to wealth. Dhama, you are the influencer of everything that influences. Atmatulyam, there is nobody who can match you. Hey Krishna, hey Mukunda, you are matchless. you are peerless, and therefore Dhirapatim Kulavatina Vrinita Kanya Kalendra Simha Naraloka Manobhiramam. Every Kalendra Simha Naraloka Manobhiramam. Everybody loves you so much, therefore you should know that I, of all the people, am longing for this reunion, and therefore what are you waiting for? And you are matchless, you are blemishless, you are peerless. Can anybody ask anything less from you? All that I am asking is for you to come and take me away to a place where I really belong to. He Mukunda, Kvatva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidyavayodra Vinadhamavi Ratmatulyam Dhirapatim Kulavatina Vrinita Kanya Kalendra Simha Naraloka Manobhiramam Tanme Bhavan Kaluvrata Patirangajayam Atmarpitascha Bhavatotra Vibho Videhi Mavira Bhagam Abhimarshatu Chaitya Arat Gomayuvan Mrigapater Balirambujaksha. This is a very crux of the Sandesha. Now in this shloka, we actually get to see how a Jivatma is communicating with the Paramatma. This is the very crux of that communication. The quintessence of the love that a Jivatma can express to the Paramatma. Rukmini says, Tanme Bhavan Kaluvrata Patirangajayam. Tanme Bhavan, you indeed are the chosen one as my Bharta. I am your Bharya. Here, Rukmini is reminding the sambandha between every Jivatma and the Paramatma. Pita cha rakshakasyeshi bharta jnyeyo ramapatihi swamyadharo mamatma cha bhokta chadya manuditaha. The illustrious Acharya, Pillai Lokacharya, writes Navavida Sambandha, the 9 types of relationship between Jivatma and the Paramatma. Pita cha rakshakasyeshi, Pita, he is the Loka Pita, he is the Loka Rakshaka, he is the Seshi, everybody else is a Sesha. Pita cha rakshakasyeshi, Bharta, he is the only Bharta. Every Jivatma is the Bharya, he is the Pati. Every Jivatma is a Patni. This is the very important relationship that needs to be understood. The unique relationship between every Jivatma and the Paramatma. Here, Rukmini Devi is reminding Krishna of that unique sacred relationship. That relationship where, hey Bhagavan, you are my Pati, I am your Patni, and therefore, Tanme Bhavan Kaluvrata Patirangajayam Atmarpitascha Bhavatotra Vibho Videhi. Hey Vibho, you are the Vibhu, I am your Vibhuti. Everything else in this creation, every entity is your Vibhuti. You are the only Vibhu. You are the only owner. You are the only master. Atmarpitascha bhavatotra vibho videhi. Therefore, Rukmini teaches how in bhakti we transform from a state of offering everything to Krishna to a state where we offer ourselves to Krishna. From a state where we offer everything to Krishna to a state where we become the offering. Rukmini here therefore says, Atmarpitascha bhavatotra vibho videhi. Hey Vibho, I offer everything that you have given me. It is not that I offer everything that I have. Because what is that I can claim which is mine? My body is not mine. My prana is not mine. My mind is not mine. My intelligence is not mine. My very self, the Atman, also is not mine. Everything belongs to you. Therefore, I offer everything that anyway belongs to you back to you. Atmarpitascha bhavatotra vibho videhi. Mavira bhagam abhimarshatu chaidya arad. She addresses Shishupala. Rukmini does not want to address Shishupala by his name. She cannot really spell out that abominable name of Shishupala. So therefore she says Chaidya, the one who rules Chedi, the kingdom, he is Chaidya. So therefore Shishupala is being addressed as Chaidya. Mavira bhagam abhimarshatu Chaidya arad gomayuvan mrigapater balim ambujaksha. He looks at, says, hey Ambujaksha, you are Ambujaksha, you are the lotus-eyed. No, you are the lotus-eyed and you have given me the eye to see the lotus eyes. Bhagavan is lotus-eyed. Why? Because it is His grace that keeps streaming forth, in which we can immerse ourselves constantly. And only when the lotus-eyed Bhagavan abundantly blesses us, we get the opportunity to see him. Just like how it is the sun's rays, the presence of sunlight, which enables our ordinary eyes to see the sun. When there is no sunlight, sun is still there. But when there is no sunlight, this Mamsa Chakshushu cannot see the sun. Similarly, Bhagavan's grace is needed. Bhagavan is always there in front of us. We keep searching for him. Where is he? When we receive his grace abundantly, then our eyes transform into Jnana Chakshushu and we are able to then see the lotus-eyed Krishna. Therefore here, Rukmini is addressing Krishna as Ambujaksha. She says, Mavira Bhagam Abhimarshatu Chaidya Arad Gomayuvan Mrigapater Balim Ambujaksha. She says, what belongs to a lion, a jackal, must not be allowed to steal. Now she is comparing Shishupala to a jackal. And she says, let not the jackal come and steal, attempt to steal what rightfully belongs to Yadava Simha, Nrasimha. Hey Krishna, I belong to you and to you alone. How can anyone else claim me as theirs? Therefore, please come and rescue me before it is too late. Purteshtadatta niyamavrata deva vipra gurvachanadibihi alam bhagavan pareshaha aradito yadi gadagraja etyapanim ghrinatumena dhamagosha sutadayonye. Now again, she calls Dhamagosha Suta. Earlier she called Shishupala as Chaidya, the king of Chedi. Now again she refuses to call him Shishupala. She calls him Dhamagosha Suta. Shishupala's father's name is Dhamagosha. So therefore, instead of addressing Shishupala as Shishupala, she says Dhamagosha Suta. He says, Purtesha Datta Niyamavrata Deva Vipra Gurvarchanadi Biralam Bhagavan Pareshaha. Very important lesson for all of us. How to cultivate bhakti. Rukmini Devi is talking about cultivation of bhakti to Bhagavan. Purta means pious works, doing works that are like helping, contributing to the welfare of all in society. Purta. Ishta, doing sacrifices. Vedic yajnas. Datta, charity. Niyama, rituals, observance of rituals. Vrata, austerities, vows of penance. Deva, doing yajna and propitiating various devatas. Vipra, brahmanas. Guru, acharya, worship, archana, adibihi. What Rukmini Devi is talking about here is, hey Bhagavan, I have been preparing myself, my mind, so that my bhakti to you can germinate, blossom and flourish. Bhakti does not automatically flourish in one's mind. The mind needs to be trained. The monkey-like mind needs to be trained, and all the rituals are a pathway to the spiritual. Every ritual that the Shastras ask us, every ritual that is prescribed, there is a purpose. The problem that we have is when the Shastras prescribe rituals, our focus is on the rules. We should shift the focus from the rules to the purpose of the ritual. Then we understand the purpose of every ritual is to reorient ourselves, to give us a direction from what is temporary to what is eternal. The Shastras say, eat after having bath. Simple ritual. He immediately asks 100 questions. Why the food tastes equally well, if not better, if I don't have bath? Why should I? Why shouldn't I? No. We are always looking at every injunction in the Shastra as simple as this from a perspective of rule, regulation, restriction. The moment we shift the focus from the rule and the restriction to the purpose of the injunction, when we understand why every simple ritual that is prescribed essentially is a way to reorient ourselves, to reprogram ourselves towards, away from what is temporary towards what is eternal. So therefore, this training of the mind, Kunti is talking about how she has been training herself to develop, cultivate that bhakti for Krishna. One very simple example that we can take, fasting as a ritual, fasting as a penance or austerity. What is important for us to realize that when the Shastras prescribe any austere measures, we immediately take it as something that we must do to test our willpower. When we look at any austerity as a test of our willpower, we will end up eventually failing in aligning to those prescribed rituals. It is not about a test of our willpower, it is essentially a test of our want power, our test of wanting Krishna. When we take fasting, the purpose of fasting is there is only one purpose of fasting: feasting. Immediately we say fasting. We all know we should do feasting after fasting. 8 hours of fasting and then with a vengeance we start feasting. We eat what we possibly missed out on eating, not for 8 hours but for 18 hours. That's not the feasting I was talking of. Feasting during fasting. How is it possible? How can we feast during fasting? Feasting on Krishna. Feasting Krishna Anubhava during fasting. And when we recognize the purpose of every simple ritual that is prescribed, then we realize that every ritual is meant to train ourselves, cultivate that love for Krishna, intensify our longing for our Krishna, make us get one step closer to Krishna. Therefore here Rukmini is saying Purteshtadatta Niyamavrata Deva Vipra Gurvachanadi Biralam Bhagavan Pareshaha. He Bhagavan, He Pareshaha. Again, the way she addresses Krishna in every shloka is so very interesting. He Bhagavan, Bhaga means wealth. You are the most wealthiest of all people that I know. What is that wealth? The wealth of Daya. Where is your Daya now? You are still sitting in Dwaraka. I am here in Vidarbha, under enduring pain. Therefore, Bhagavan, show your Daya. And you are Pareshaha. Para, Ishaha, Pareshaha. Isha, controller. Pareshaha. Krishna, you are the supreme controller. You orchestrate everything that goes on. Therefore, what is there easy? Tomorrow is the date of the wedding arranged with Shishupala. You can change anything that you want if you please. Therefore, He Pareshaha. Then she says, Aradito yati gadagracha etyapanim grinnatumena dhamagosha sutadenya. She addresses Krishna again as Gadagraja. Gada, Agraja. Agraja means elder brother. We know that Krishna has one elder brother Balarama. Balarama is Krishna Agraja. Krishna is Ramanuja. Now who is Gadagraja? Krishna is Gadagraja. Who is Gada? Gada is son of Deva Rakshita. Deva Rakshita is Devaki's sister. Deva Rakshita is also married to Vasudeva. So Vasudeva, Deva Rakshita's son is Gada, who happens to be younger to Krishna. So therefore Krishna becomes Gadagraja. Gadagraja, therefore, hey, elder brother of Gada. Also Gadagraja also means one who emanates from a mantra. Hey Krishna, you are the very mantra, the reward of all the penances that I have been doing so far. Shatruchedaika mantram, Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampujya mantram, Sarvaish Ashtaiswarya mantram, Vyasana Bhujaga Shantashta Santana mantram, Jihve Sri Krishna mantram, Japatapa Satatam Janma Sapalya mantram. Hey Krishna, you are the mantra of all mantras. I have been waiting for you. Aradito yadi gadagraja etyapanim. No, I have been worshipping you, hey Gadagraja. It is time for you to come and hold me, take me by my hand. Take me by my hand. Essentially, Panigraha is the most important function in any wedding, in any marriage ceremony. But these days, Panigraha happens well before. So, Panigraha, here she says, hold, take me. The moment Panigraha happens, it's as good as wedding has happened. Such is the sacredness of Panigraha. So she's asking, Gadagraja yetya panim grinnatumena dhamagosha sutadayonne. Let not Dhamagosha's son, again Dhamagosha, again Suta is Shishupala. Let not Shishupala ever dream of even getting closer to me, leave alone holding my hand. You better come on time so that you can take me by holding my hand. Hey Achyuta, I am waiting for you. Swobhavinitvam ajitodvahane vidarbhan guptas sametya pratana patibihi paritaha nirmatya chaidya magadendra balam prasahya mam rakshasena vidinodvaha virya shulkam. In the earlier shloka, she surrendered atmarpitascha bhavatotra vibho videhi. Surrendering herself, Rukmini Devi expressed her helplessness. But the surrender of Rukmini Devi, along with helplessness, also shows that she is also resourcefully ready. Any surrender is a combination of two things. It is not just expression of helplessness alone which is surrender. Together with the expression of helplessness, there should be also resourceful readiness to do Krishna's work. Because after surrender, what is the question that we always ask? Yes, I have surrendered. And then what do? I continue to serve Krishna with all the resources that I have, which he has provided me. So therefore now, Rukmini is now telling Krishna, she has surrendered to Krishna, now she is telling Krishna what he must be doing. Swobhavinitvam ajitodvahane vidarbhan guptas sametya pratana patibihi paritaha. He says, hey Krishna, she calls Krishna as Ajita. Why Ajita? Because during Kshirabdhi Matana, Bhagavan took a very important avatara, Ajita avatara, to protect the churning that was going, the churning that the Asuras and the Devas were doing. As Ajita, he also did the churning himself. On the one hand, the Devas were doing the churning. On the other hand, the Asuras were doing the churning. Everybody thought Bhagavan was helping them. Bhagavan was also doing the churning. They did not realize they were all churning for ordinary Amrita. Bhagavan was churning for the Amrita of all Amritas, Sri Mahalakshmi. And as Ajita, he ensured that the churning goes right so that Sri Mahalakshmi can emanate from Kshirabdi. Rukmini Devi here is addressing Krishna as Ajitaha, Ajitodvane Vidarbhan. Now, tomorrow happens to be my marriage ceremony. Already preparations are going on. Bhishmaka and Rukmi and everybody else are doing. You should arrive therefore early tomorrow, before early tomorrow. And she also says, come, arrive unseen. She says, Guptas sametya pratanapadibihi paritaha. She's also telling Krishna what you should be doing. Hey Krishna, please arrive in Vidarbha with all your army, but let the army surround you so that you can hide yourself. Nobody should notice you. If somebody notices you, they will know you have come only for me. Do not give away this secret. Secretly sneak into Vidarbha. Guptas sametya pratanapadibihi paritaha. Nirmatya chaidya magadedra balam prasahya. Then you can crush the forces of Chaidya and Magadendra. Magadendra is Jarasandha. Because Jarasandha, all the major kings who are allies of Shishupala are all there in Vidarbha. Dantavakra, Shalva, Jarasandha, everybody is there. You can crush the forces. Nirmatya is a beautiful word. Nirmatya essentially is crushing. Nirmatya also means churning. So on the one hand, she is saying crush the forces of Chaidya and Magadendra. Also, this is also another churning that you have to do in Vidarbha so that you can extricate me. Once upon a time, as Ajita, you churned the Kshirabdi and you extricated me. Now again you need to repeat. Now you've already practiced. You are now well versed. You're good. You repeat it. Once again do the churning so that you can extricate me from Vidarbha and take me along with you. How? Mam Rakshasena Vidinodvaha Virya Shulkam. Virya Shulka. The Shulka is dowry. Those days, the bridegroom gives dowry to bride. Later on it changed the other way around. Now what is the dowry that you can give me? Virya Shulka. Your valor alone is enough. Please come and rescue me, displaying your valor. Mam Rakshasena Vidinodvaha. Rakshasa Vivaha means when the bridegroom is given away against her wishes, then the Shastras allow Rakshasa Vivaha, where the one she actually loves can actually forcefully take her away from the people who are forcing her into an unwanted marriage and she can get married. So therefore, Mam Rakshasena Vidinodvaha Virya Sulkam. Thus, she gives Krishna a plan as to how he should actually come and rescue. Immediately, Krishna might have a question. You are asking me to come to Vidarbha, all that is fine. But you are somewhere in Antapura inside, guarded by many more people, inner chambers. No, how do you want me to come and reach you? Immediately, Rukmini Devi says, Antahpurantarcharim anihatya bandhoon tvam udvahe katamiti pravadam upayam purvedyurasti mahati kuladeva yatra yasyam bahir navavadur girijamupeyat. Let me also give this plan that she is detailing further. You may wonder that you cannot reach the inner chambers of the palace, Antapura. Even if you reach, you may have to fight my relatives, which I know you wouldn't want to do. So therefore, let me tell you, there is a practice. There is a tradition in our kingdom where the bride has to go to Girija temple, Girija Mata, and do puja before the wedding actually happens. Purvedyurasti mahati kuladeva yatra yasyam bahir navavadhu girijamupeyat. Therefore, there is going to be a procession in the morning before even the wedding can start. A grand procession, and I am anyway expected to come out of Antapura and go all the way to the temple to do the worship before the wedding ceremonies can start. That is the right time for you to actually come meet me right in front of the temple, from where you can actually take me away. So here we see Rukmini giving detailed plans to Krishna. You may wonder, we all know we only give plans to Krishna. We are telling him, you do this, do not this. And we also know, Shastras say we are not supposed to be doing that. Krishna knows everything that he needs to do. So why should we plan? There is a difference between plan and planning. Planning, our plans may fail, but planning never fails. What is the difference? When we plan, and when we attach to the plan, we think we are the controllers of how the plan needs to be executed. Planning essentially is directed imagination. If we do not do planning, we will only be worrying. There is only one difference between worrying and planning. Worrying is misdirected imagination. Planning is directed imagination. So we have only two choices. Keep worrying or do some planning. So Shastras don't say do not do planning. We must do our planning. We must have the courage to dream. We must also have the courage to surrender the dream to Krishna. So therefore here what we see is Rukmini clearly detailing out, knowing that Krishna eventually knows how to orchestrate, but she is doing her part. Also, Rukmini is not another Jivatma like all of us. She is his Sahadharmacharini, and therefore the counseling has already started before the Vivaha. Later on the guiding and counseling has to happen, but she has already started right before. Therefore he says, Krishna, please come and do the needful exactly as per the instructions. And then she closes the Sandesha with a shloka which is the very crux of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahanto vachyanti umapati rivatma tamopahatkeihi yaryambujaksha nalabheya bhavat prasadam jahyamasoon pratakrishan chatajanma visyat. Now she is glorifying those divine lotus feet of Krishna. Hey Krishna, yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahantaha vachyanti umapatir ivatma tamopahatkeihi. Even the illustrious Lord Paramashiva, he also longs to take bath in the dust of our lotus feet. Such is the glory of those divine lotus feet. Hey Krishna, yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahanto. The Shastras have a special liking for Bhagavan's lotus feet. Every time they have to declare the means to the ultimate goal, they always direct towards the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself directs us to his lotus feet. Aham tva sarvapapebhyaha mokshayishyami. He always points to, when it comes to what is the means to attain the ultimate goal, the Shastras and the Shastra giver Both of them point to only one means, which are the lotus feet, the divine lotus feet of Krishna. The divine lotus feet of Krishna are very special. They are adorned with the 4 key symbols of Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So therefore, all the potential, the power, the potency of all the Divyayudhas are all there adorning the divine lotus feet of Krishna. Not only that, the Shastras say there are 19 divine marks on Krishna's lotus feet. The lotus feet is marked with Ankusha, essentially saying the one who surrenders to his lotus feet, the mind which is like a mad elephant can only be controlled and brought to the right direction by his divine lotus feet. The lotus feet has the mark of an umbrella, essentially saying when one surrenders to the lotus feet, it is the umbrella of the lotus feet which protects us from the rainfall of material miseries. The lotus feet has the mark of Vajrayudha, essentially saying the one who surrenders to the lotus feet, everything that comes in between us and Krishna is smashed by the Vajrayudha like lotus feet. The lotus feet has the mark of Dvaja, flag, which shows his lotus feet alone are the symbols of eternal protection, eternal safety, eternal security. Therefore, Rukmini Devi is glorifying the divine lotus feet of Krishna. And then she says, Yarhyambujaksha. Now she makes a very dramatic and very impactful statement. Now, this is a statement which pierces Krishna's heart. Yarhyambujaksha nalabheya bhavat prasadam jahyamasoon vratakrishan shatajanma visyat. Hey Krishna, if I cannot obtain your grace, your mercy, I shall simply give up my prana. Hey Ambujaksha, if you are not going to give your mercy to me. Now, here what is important? If I cannot obtain your mercy, hey Ambujaksha, she addresses him again. Here, hey Ambujaksha, Krishna's Ambujaksha, his eyes, his lotus eyes are wide open all the time with his grace streaming down, available for everybody. Whether we receive it or not, the onus is on us. Receiving his grace, the onus is on us. Rukmini here therefore recognizes that if I cannot obtain your mercy, you are ready to give your mercy, but if I cannot, maybe I am not qualified, hey Krishna, to receive your mercy. If I cannot receive your mercy, what is the use of this material prana that I have? I might as well give it up right here. Yarhyambujakshana labheya bhavat prasadam jahyamasoon vratakrishant shatajanma visyat. I will give up this prana right here, right now, and I will continue to perform severe penances for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years until I obtain your grace. She makes a striking, impactful, piercing remark to Krishna. We have to here understand the message that Rukmini Devi is giving to Krishna. When she says, I am ready to take hundreds and hundreds of births to obtain your mercy, what she is essentially saying is, I will continue to strive to desire you, hey Krishna. Desiring is my job. Deserving is what you decide. Desiring is my job. Desiring is what you decide. The Shastras say, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha namedhaya bahuna shrutena yamevaisha vrinate tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vivrinate tanugum swam. Bhagavan chooses. Bhagavan chooses whom to bless. Bhagavan makes a choice as to who should receive what kind of rewards. We cannot question Krishna as to why he has not chosen us. We can strive to become the chosen ones. We can continue to strive to desire him. And then he alone can make the choice of whether we are deserving or not. Rukmini clearly understands this and for our sake highlights this. But is that not fatalistic, we may ask? Rukmini also knows The moment I shift the burden to Krishna, obviously Krishna longs for me more than I long for Krishna. Why will he be waiting for that long to come and rescue me? Krishna wants us more than we can ever want him. Ayami paramam sthanam archiradikatim vina garudaskandam aropya yatecham anivaritaha. All that we need is to strongly desire Krishna, unconditionally love him, and there is nothing else that need to be done. Bhagavan himself comes rushing. Nayami paramam sthanam archiradikatim vina. We don't need to do Ashtanga Yoga or any other sadhanas other than constant loving contemplation of Krishna, wanting him more than anything else. And then Garudaskandam aropya yatecham anivaritaha. He shall come to deliver us, to provide. He shall come to rescue us. And Krishna himself declares this. Garudaskandam aropya. Mounting on the shoulders of Garuda is one way to understand. Aropya Garudaskandam. Sometimes he is so very impatient that even before Garuda gets ready to fly, it seems, Aropya Garudaskandam. He lifts Garuda and comes on his shoulders, rushing to rescue the devotees. Now, Rukmini Devi knows that. Therefore, when she says, Shatajanma Bisyat, she also knows Shatajanma Bisyat, hundreds of years. For her, a fraction of a second in separation from Krishna is equal to hundreds and hundreds of lives. And therefore, here by transferring the burden to Krishna, she knows it is only time before Krishna comes rushing to rescue her. She knows this fundamental truth. Therefore, she gives a call, that all important call, Yarhyambujaksha nalabheya bhavat prasadam jahyam asun vratakrishan shatajanma bisyat. This is the very crux of Bhagavata Shloka, entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Why do we say that? Here we see the very essence of desperation for Krishna. Rukmini here is expressing her desperate need for Krishna. We may all think, why there should be desperation? Bhakti is about desperately needing Krishna, just like we need oxygen. That is real bhakti. The crux of Bhagavatam is to realize that it is that desperate need that is a prerequisite for ultimate liberation. And even Bhagavatam, the birth of Bhagavatam is out of this desperate need. Vyasa, the great Vyasa, illustrious Vyasa, has classified, coded all the Vedas. He has written Brahma Sutra, Mahabharata, but he still desperately needed to experience Krishna. That longing for Krishna Anubhava remained in Vyasa, and it is that outcome of that desperation that is Bhagavatam, is that outcome. In many ways, therefore, this very shloka of Rukmini reflects that desperation. The desperation of a Jivatma, a Mumukshu, longing for Paramatma. And therefore she says, her love for Krishna eclipses her fear of death. She says, I am ready to die even 100 times, hey Krishna, if it only means that I continue to strive to love you, to desire you, and I know that eventually you will choose me. Yarhyambujaksha nalabheya bhavat prasadam. Ultimately, what I seek is only your grace. The very crux of Bhagavatam is that all the Jivatmas are like parts of that whole, that supreme whole, which is the Paramatma. And when a part remains disconnected from the whole to which it belongs, it is always incomplete. It is in connection with the whole that the part receives completeness. Therefore, when the part offers its everything, when the part offers its whole to the whole to which it belongs, the whole makes the part really whole. All wholes are WHOLE. When the part offers its everything its whole, to the whole Krishna to which it belongs, then the whole Krishna makes the part truly the whole, makes it complete. Purnatva, completeness, is an outcome of this belongingness. Now, bhakti is not believing Krishna. Bhakti is belonging to Krishna. Bhakti is to recognize that we belong to Him alone. And it is that belonging that Rukmini is demonstrating here. And therefore, by writing this Sandesha, the Brahmana reads out, Krishna has horripilations all over. He knows that he has already wasted time. Ityete guhya sandesha yadudevam mayahritaha vimrishya kattum yachchatra kriyatam tat anantaram. Ityete guhya sandesha, Brahmana vacha, Brahmana saying, this guhya sandesha, this secret sandesha, the secret communication that Rukmini has sent it to you. Now, this Sandesha from Rukmini to Krishna is a secret because nobody else knew about it. But within that secret, there is also another secret here. By sending the Brahmana, now the Brahmana, the secret here is the secret of all secrets in the Shastras. The Brahmana here also acts as the Acharya. Now, the Jivatma sending a communication to Paramatma alone is not enough. The intermediation of Acharya is so very important. Here, Ityete guhya sandesha yadudeva mayahritaha vimrishya kartum yachchatra. The Brahmana is telling Krishna, vimrishya kartum yachchatra. Please consider what must be done in these circumstances. Rukmini has sent you the instructions, Rukmini has sent you the message. Please consider what must be done in these circumstances. Kriyatam tad anantaram. Do it at once. This is what the Acharya does. The Jivatma makes the plea. But the Acharya says, please listen to the plea and act at once. And therefore, Krishna now knows. Bhagavan listens and immediately he makes the preparation. Immediately he gets on to his chariot. He informs everyone. Balarama, along with all the army, is also preparing, and Krishna travels fast towards Vidarbha. And as Krishna travels, he reaches. Bhishmaka gets to know. Bhishmaka receives Krishna. Bhishmaka is thrilled. Bhishmaka still does not know what has transpired between Rukmini and Krishna. Bhishmaka thinks Krishna has just come as a guest. So he offers him all respects and arranges accommodation for him for the night. And then early next day, Rukmini, along with all her companions, in a grand procession, goes to the Mandira of Girija and conducts the regular puja before the wedding ceremony. And then as Rukmini Devi walks out, all the kings assembled there for protection. There is Shishupala, there is Shalva, there is Jarasandha, Dhantavakra. All of them look at Rukmini, just like how during Kshirabdi Matana, when Sri Mahalakshmi emanated from Kshirabdi, all the asuras were awestruck, bewildered by the beauty of Sri Mahalakshmi. All these kings were bewildered by Rukmini's beauty. And she slowly and steadily started to walk outside, come outside, and she was also looking around to see signs of where Krishna is. All of a sudden, obviously, the hero arrives, and swiftly he comes, and then gently he grasps Rukmini and takes her away. She mounts the chariot, and right in front of Jarasandha, Shishupala, Shalva, Dantavakra, Rukmi, Bhishmaka, all the kings are infuriated and insulted at the same time. Krishna drives away the chariot. Rukmini is exhilarated. Finally, she is reunited with Krishna. But then, Jarasandha and Shishupala immediately give commands for the army to attack Krishna, capture him along with Rukmini. And as the armies prepare to attack, Balarama and Gada, they are all ready to counter. There are showers of arrows from both ends, and there is a battle that ensues between the two armies. And then eventually the armies of Jarasandha and Shishupala are thwarted. All the kings start running away. Shishupala is dejected. Jarasandha is dejected. Rukmi alone keeps chasing Rukmini and Krishna. Eventually, a one-to-one battle ensues between Rukmi and Krishna. Krishna thrashes Rukmini, and then eventually, upon advice of Rukmini, spares Rukmini's life. And then Rukmini too eventually runs away. Now Krishna, along with Rukmini, then proceed towards Dwaraka. And as they enter Dwaraka, the news spreads around. All the Dwaraka Vasis begin the celebration. Everyone start running around. There are crowds everywhere. The roads of Dwaraka, as we have seen, are wide. The highways are wide. There are beautiful archways. All the roads are filled with people in jubilation, celebration. Krishnasyatam skandam upagnayantim suradrumasyeva swarnavallim. Rukmini Devi looked like a golden creeper around the Kalpavriksha called Krishna, and they were approaching in the chariot. Avekshanunam chaturaha pumartan ananyalabhyan alamanta pauraha. Then and there, all the Dwaraka Vasis attained all the 4 Purusharthas at the same time. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha at the same time. Looking at Krishna and Rukmini coming, Dharma, the very embodiment of Dharma, Krishna, is now accompanied by Shri. And therefore, the Dharma gets fulfilled. Artha, Shri has finally arrived in Dwaraka. Therefore, Artha also is fulfilled. Kama, looking at Krishna and Rukmini together, all their desires get fulfilled then and there. Looking at the Divya Dampatis, blessing them abundantly, Moksha too is granted to all of them. All the 4 Chaturpurusharthas then and there gets fulfilled for every Dwaraka Vasi. Tada Mahotsavo Nrinam Yadupuryam Grihe Grihe Abhud Ananya Bhavanam Krishne Edipatau Rupa. Ananya Bhavan, every Dwaraka Vasi loves Krishna so much, exclusive love for Krishna. They all start to celebrate. There is commotion everywhere. Everybody is running around and they're all wanting to have a glimpse of Krishna and Rukmini. Nara naryascha muditaha pramrishta manikundalaha paribharham upajakhu varayos chitravasasoho. All the men and women nicely dressed, adorning the best of jewels. Everybody with the best of silk garments, earrings, jewels, necklaces. They all brought presents to Krishna and Rukmini and reverently started to offer them. Offering garlands, which are all expressions of their love. We also need to dress up. When we say, why must we dress up when we go to temples? Some people ask, why must we wear the best of clothes? Here, the Dwaraka Vasis are giving an example. It is also to show him how much we value the vehicle that has given all of us. Dressing up is essentially a thanksgiving to Krishna, saying that we are neither working for the body nor working against the body. We are working with the body that he has given for his Kainkariya. So therefore, no need to be shy. A little bit of makeup is fine. And therefore all the Dwaraka Vasis, as they are preparing, welcoming, something wonderful happens. Something unheard of happens. Sikta marga madachudbihi ahuta preshta bhubhujam gajaidvasu paramrishta rambha pugoba shobhita. Thousands and thousands of elephants. Sikta marga madachudbihi. Thousands, they start to sprinkle the streets. Mada, intoxicated elephants. What is the kind of intoxication? These elephants are intoxicated with love for Krishna. And it seemed these elephants were all cleaning the streets of Dwaraka, sprinkling water, screaming. Gajaidvasu paramrishta, rambha, plantain trees, puga, betel nut trees, shobhita. They are planting. The elephants are going around decorating every archway, every doorway by placing trunks of plantain and betel nut trees in all the doorways. Some of you would have heard of the great illustrious Goda Devi, popularly called Andal. In her Nachyar Thirumozhi, she says, Varanamayiram Suravalam Shaidu. She says, she is dreaming of Krishna coming along with all his thousands of friends mounted on thousands of elephants. One may wonder, Krishna from Vraja, it is okay to dream of Krishna coming with thousands of cows and calves. Where did the elephants come here? Goda Devi is inspired by what happened, it seems, during Rukmini Vivaha. Sikta Marga Madachudbhi Ahuta Preshta Bhubujam Gajaidvasu Paramishta. All these thousands of elephants going around doing those wondrous decorations all over. Savrishni Puri Uttambhitendra Ketubihi. Everywhere there were tall festive columns all over Dwaraka. Vichitriyamalyambara Ratnatoranaihi. All over there were festoons, there were garlands of gems and flowers decorating every part of Dwaraka. Babhau Pratidwari Upaklupta Mangalaihi. Apurna Kumbaguru Dhupaha. Everywhere people were standing with Purna Kumbha. Puranam Purkudam Vait Puramengum, Andal says. Again, everybody is receiving Krishna and Rukmini with Purna Kumbhas everywhere, and all the wedding celebrations have already started, grand celebrations. And therefore, the mandapa is all ready, everybody is assembled, Vasudeva and Devaki were ecstatic, all the preparations are over. Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Evam Nirjitya Bhumipan Puram Aniya Vidivad Upayema Kurudvaha. Rakshasa Vivaha is what Rukmini Devi asked, but Bhagavan decided to do a proper Vivaha. Puram Aniya Vidivad Upayema Kurudvaha. As per Vaidika Vidhi, Krishna decided to wed, and Vagdanam cha Pradhanam cha Varanam Panipidanam Saptapadiri Panchangaha Vivahaha Prakirtihi. Every Vaidika Vivaha has 5 important ingredients. Vagdanam, this is what is called Janavasa, in inviting the groom. Pradhanam, Kanyadana. Varanam. Varanam is essentially praying to the groom because he is the Vishnu Swarupi. Varanam. Panipidanam, Panigraha, holding the hand, the groom holds the hand of the bride. Saptapadi, Panchangaha. The Mangalya Dharana is not in the Shruti, it comes from the Smriti. And later, it also got added to the Vaidika Vivaha procedures. So Krishna does all of that. Vailakshyadolamiva samstrinam vilochananam vavride viharai tayor ananya drishavaibhavanam anyonya rajiva madhuratvanam. Rukmini is looking at Krishna, Krishna is looking at Rukmini. As it is, both of their eyes are lotus-like, and it seems their eyes were swinging from one corner to the other, growing in size, and both were at the same time lotus-like and bee-like, because both were attracted to each other. It is for the first time a lotus-like eye also became bee-like, getting captivated by the other. Parasparam Panisaroja Yogat Bhuvatushto Pulakankitankau. Panigraha happened, and then eventually Anvetu Vishnuhu Swayam Ityudurya. Anvetu Vishnuhu Swayam Ityudirya. Vishnu, Krishna, along with Rukmini, did Saptapadi. Ekamishe Vishnustvan Vetu, Dveurje Vishnustvan Vetu, Treni Vrataya Vishnustvan Vetu, Chatvari Mayobhavaya Vishnustvan Vetu, Panchapashubhyo Vishnustvan Vetu, Shadrutubhyo Vishnustvan Vetu, Saptabhyo Hotrabhyo Vishnustvan Vetu. Interestingly, Vishnu himself is saying Vishnustvan Vetu, Vishnustvan Vetu. Therefore Krishna, Vishnu himself chanted the Saptapadi mantras, holding Rukmini Devi and going around Agni. And it seems Agni Deva immediately was ecstatic, looking at Bhagavan and Shri going around, and he started doing Mangalaharati. And Bhagavan Atmanameva Swayam Agni Rupam Parikramaihi Paryachastam Devaha. Krishna and Rukmini were doing Pradakshana of Agni Deva, doing Saptapadi, and Agni Deva decided to do Pradakshana of Bhagavan. And all the devatas followed Agni Devata and started doing Pradakshana. All the Dwarakavasis were all doing Pradakshana. The entire Jagat was doing, because Jagannatha together with Jagannmata were doing, being wedded together. The entire Jagat was going together. And there, Lakshmya Saha Rishikesha, Devya Karunya Rupaya, Lakshaka Savasiddhante, Vedante Picha Giyate. In order to continue to eternally protect us, Shri and Narayana always stay united, and it is that union of Shri and Narayana which repeatedly, eternally, constantly keeps assuring us that the protection is ours, safety is ours, security is ours, prosperity of all kinds is ours. Vasudeva Tavavala Asurakulakala Sasivadana Rukmini Satyabhamalola. Rukmini Kalyanam Vaibhogame. Krishna Kalyanam Vaibhogame. Can we all sing? Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna.